There we go. Okay. I am horrible with technology. Okay. So welcome. I want to do a little lesson on the brooms before, while we get started. And I love teaching this aspect of the class because brooms are so magical. I mean, so often we just want that feeling of that clean sweep, and we all experience our house when there's too much stuff on our floor, right? Your feet get that crud. So sweeping is also important on a spiritual level because we use it to get rid of psychic debris. And we also use it to get rid of the heavy things that come into our homes. So the brooms are quite magical, and I'm excited to teach you about it. And I truly believe that if you were drawn to come here today, it's because you are magical. And that magical people who are drawn to brooms are meant to keep the energies clear, but they also have a power connected to the old gods and to manifest things in their life. So brooms are amazing. So welcome. Now let me just find my page here. Okay. So to me, make sure I didn't push anything. Okay, there we go. I'm going to move this because I'm scared. And after Brett smudges, passes around the smudge, he's going to teach us all how to do the slip knot to get your broom started. Okay. Now, one at a time. Maybe I'll get you guys to gather your grass for your brooms. Maybe we'll do that. And then while you're making it, I can do the teaching. I think that would be better. So you can grab a bunch. You want to mix it, green grass and some of the dry grass. And we can always cut more, and you can go with the really long stuff or the short. Well, you have to put it around your stick and see if you like it. It should be enough. You can see some of the examples of brooms here. So this is something I could get trimmed after it's set. But I know, I do too. So you don't need too much. But you want your stick to look nice. Yes, so this is seagrass, which grows in New Brunswick. Yeah. This one is actually called broom. And in BC, it grows wild everywhere. And this is it here. You can also use hay. I haven't seen any. Yellow broom is called broom. They're big yellow bushes. I love that. Yeah, so I would just tie it. I would tie it right close to the fork. Yeah. Well, you can. I think you'll be able to build it up. Okay. It also would be pretty cool if you just made it on both ends and had a little bit of that coming out. Like if you had a little bit of it showing on the sides. Oh, so yeah, so plant the front and the back with it. It's part of the design. Yeah, it's totally cool. So he's going down the center. So you'll want it quite long. Yeah. It would actually probably work as a really good stand. I think like help it stand. Yeah, that's true. Exactly. Yeah. If you want to, you can also add as you're twirling, but before we start tying it, we'll show you how to get started. And you'll probably want to work in groups of 2. I just find it's good to help someone tie their stuff. We need some strength at times with it. And if you need help, just put your hand up and one of the guys will go to you.
So I'm going to show everybody how to do a knot. I'll just show it up here and then I'll come around if there's any further questions and help. And then the guys can help out too. So to start the broom, you're just going to do a regular slip knot. So you just take the string and you just run up loop. Up into the thing, and then you pull the bunny ear through, one bunny ear, and then you pull it tight. And I'll give you a slip knot.
Which means that?
Which means that once you put it on, you pull this little tight. So that's simple like that. So I'll come around and do it closer so you guys can see it.
And you're going to want to slip that on the stick, not the drumstick, the broomstick. Wrong class. And Aaron is going around.
So once you have the slip knot, find your starting point, and you're going to make 3 rings of rope on your broomstick first.
Before you put the grass on, okay?
So for after. Oh, look, look at that. You're ready. Nice. Oh, you're ready to go?
So after you have your slip knot and you tie it tight, and you're going to want to start your slip knot just above where you're going to put your grass. So I like to have a lot of twine on mine. And once you put it where you want to start your grass, my grass started right here on this. So I just started above. I do 3 wings. They represent 3 different worlds, upper, under, and middle world. They also represent the moon phases as well as maiden, mother, crone. So the 3 aspects of us. And then after you do the 3 loops, feel free to add a loop for people that you love, that you want protected, and that you want the power of your broom to guard. Okay? Because these brooms are going to become a protected spirit in your home. Wrap it around 3 times. And you can do the knots when we're doing that, when we actually start putting the grass on and winding around.
About the last foot or where the 2 grass is going to be setting off. So, for example, these got this way. So here is the chair that you got. If you lay on about there, that's perfect. And then you do 3 of them. 3 put together, and when you bind it, so this way out the bundle where you're doing the 3 ways.
Some people like to make it with their grass, you know, a little bit like this. So once you finish, here's my slip knot up here. Once I wrap my grass, I can start tying anywhere. So it depends on what look you like, really. Don't cut it. We're not going to cut it till a broom is done. Yeah, you could use the chair as a table. I love that. If you want another chair, there's a couple others you can use as a table. I do not want this to fall. Anybody else need a chair for a table? A table? Yeah. There's that green table there behind you if you want.
Little tables?
We're gonna use the chairs. There's a couple of chairs. Aaron, you want to give them a chair? So once you're ready, once you have your 3 loops, you're ready for the next step. So just relax. But you will want to take a look at how your grass is going to wrap around your stick and make sure you have enough. And sometimes when we start wrapping the rope around it, we'll want to add more. So you can always go back and add more in layers as we start to tie it to move around.
If you have a bump, the pot will just go a little bit larger. Then you take your little extra tail in, and then you can just tie it off. And then just do it 3 regular knots for each one.
And if you need help, just put your hand up. I'm going to start with the lesson. It's a wishing broom.
I might just have to put some on the back.
Oh, sure.
And don't worry what it looks like, because you're going to be trimming your bush later and making it pretty. Okay. Yeah, if you have a special number, put it in there. And even after you create your brooms today, you can add more things to them. Some people paint their broomsticks. They'll put the elemental colors on it. They'll make their sticks teal. You can even use old broomsticks. So if you have like an old broomstick from your family's house or grandmother, you can remake a magical broom with those sticks. So while you're creating, feel free to play with your grass and start putting it together. I'm going to talk away. If you have a question, raise your hand and I'll stop talking. Okay. So brooms are very sacred, and the brooms actually represent the goddess and the power of the goddess. And the broom connects to the element of water. And the water element is connected to the west. And magic that comes from the West is always connected to the past, to the hidden realms, to the things that we want to know and don't know, but want to seek to know. It also represents the portal of power to connect us to anyone that we have lost and love. So if I want to connect to a spirit that is in the spirit world, I can use my broom to call upon them and invoke them so that they can bring me the guidance that I want. So anything that is connected to the past, any trauma that is connected to the past, when that trauma comes up, we can hold the broom or sweep the house and the broom will take it away and give you that cleansing energy that you need. Many times in my magic or in my sessions, if I'm dealing with someone that has trauma, I sweep around them. And I'm going to teach you a little bit about the sweeping and how to go about that too. So you want to think about the past. You want to think about the pain that we suffered and the strength that we gained. You want to think about your power of divination and your power of intuition. Okay, a lot of times our intuition and the unseen forces are communicating from spirits and ancestors that love us. And you have to think about what type of person you are personally. We are all connected to the elements, but some of us have endured a lot of pain in our life. And those are the people that know how to get rid of it. And that's why when I look at you, beautiful ladies, I can sense the magic and the power to take control of bullshit. I know you all have it. And I feel like that's why you're drawn to have the broom, so that your home is your serenity. You know it's your place, it's protected, and you have found your strength. Strong women are drawn to the broom. And so the unseen also comes in through the power of the broom. While you're creating this, you're creating a tool, a magical tool that creates a spirit. That broom is going to cleanse away that psychic debris that I mentioned earlier, traumas, mental things, anything that we don't like that causes us distress or disease, okay? So when we use our brooms, we are healing with the ancient ones. Every culture had brooms, and they were always very magical. And you know, even though you're learning how to make these beautiful, gigantic brooms, you can use the same power and energy and focus to make small kitchen brooms or altar brooms. So we are creating these big ones, but keep in mind, maybe your kitchen will want a broom. So once you learn how to make them, you can make them anytime you want. So healing with the ancient ones is the call of holding that broom. And we are using the energy of the spirit. And that's what takes place. So think about when you put your hand on the broom, ancestor knows that you want help, that you want assistance, that you want cleansing, or whatever it is. Okay. The broom actually is the magical tool to have us believe in magic. It reminds us, believe in your magic and use it. So, I mean, you could look at every culture, they all have brooms, but the first broom use in magic was documented in 1453. And it was the official document of a confession of using a broom for harvesting, calling in harvesting, and also fertility rites. So the broom is known to balance our masculine side and our feminine side. And I love that. So the reason why is because the handle represents the phallic. If you don't know what a phallic is, it means penis. So your handles represent a big penis. Yeah, rub it, hold it, all right? It's a big woody. And the female represents the bristles. So all of that grass that you're putting on is actually a connection to Mother Earth. And you know, grass is very sacred. And one thing that you want to do is if you do cut certain grasses to make a broom, the tradition is to leave the 8th grass strand as an offering. Okay, so when you begin, you can just kind of count your grass, the 8th one, leave it aside, pick another 7. I do that 3 times and then I can take more. So the 8th strand of grass, when you're collecting it, leave as an offering, don't cut it. Okay. So the female is the bristles. And right now, as you're putting your broom together, the handle and the bristles, you're balancing your masculine and feminine energy. And while you're doing that, it's really cool because we are getting close to the eclipse. So there's a lot of power in that. And when you balance your energies, you'll find that your protection mode, your instincts about people and situations connect to your higher self. The bristles on your broom represent the female aspect and your higher self, where the masculine aspect of the handle represents your instincts and protection. And our instincts and protection come to a peak every new moon. Our masculine side raises, and it's also known as the shadow self. And that power of us, and that's why sometimes like things go crazy with the new moon and crazy with the full moon. If it's a new moon craziness, that's masculine energy. If it's full moon craziness, female energy. So you want to kind of take note. Some of you may do ritualistic connections during new and full moons. New moons are when our masculine side comes to its peak. And it's very magical for us to experience every month because it fine tunes what we're watching and taking a look at in our life. Where are our instincts working? Are we focusing on, you know, our dude, or are we focusing on our career? Or is there someone that we're watching because they're watching us? So our shadow sides come into the peak of protection 3 days before the new moon, and then 3 days afterwards. And so when we do magic during the new moon, we're doing masculine magic. Okay. But we can know that no matter what, whether we practice ritual or not, during the new moon, our protection is getting cleansed, is going to a peak, and it is fine-tuning itself and connecting to our higher self. Because after every new moon, we all naturally go into a place of receiving. And that's why we do our magic of receiving and the things we want to call in, not just during the full moon, but during the waxing moon. Waxing is receiving. The other thing is, so every new moon, kind of take note on what's focused in your life, what's arising naturally, what's the topic of existence that's, you know, in power. And there's your masculine magic and what it's focusing on. Now, the new moon is where we can connect to our divine aspect. So automatically, the goddess within wants to rise to her peak. And she loves things. It's all about your desires and what you want in life. We need to live a life with desire, not need. And so when we use our magic with the broom, we always focus on not just the need, the desire. If you need something, you have to turn it into a desire, and you'll be able to feel the power of the ancestors around you bringing that into place. Okay. So fairies and spirits were actually the nature spirits, were actually the ones that helped you find your stick. Anytime you walk out in nature and anytime you find a stick, just like your broomsticks, there was a nature spirit that guided you to it. And so broomsticks are really powerful. And that means that if you found your broomstick, you were connected to a nature spirit. Nature spirit likes to hide in the brooms. So there is a connection to the nature spirits. And if you need some help, you can put your hands up. So if any of you have an apple as your broomstick, then it represents blessings and abundance, feminine energy, and you can connect to all 5 elements with the broom. It will also bring you the qualities of self-acceptance. If you have alder, which is all these trees that grow wild around here, alder represents the connection to the underworld. Birch, I saw somebody with. If you have a birch, then it represents the goddess. It will get rid of anxiety and depression, as well as manifesting new growth. So for you, if you were drawn to the birch, nature spirits want to bring new growth into your life. Cedar. Some people, if you have a cedar stick, then you can use the cedar broom to break spells and energies against you. It also creates a sacred space, as with all the brooms, as well as brings clarity and focus. So if you have an oak tree, oak, you said, represents boundaries. So, well then that's good, it'll help you. So oak is boundaries. It also represents communication and healing emotions. Driftwood is huge because it represents the element of water and the nature spirits. So when you find a piece of driftwood, there is spirit in that. And driftwood is known to call the gods. So you can call God and goddesses with it. And because you're using driftwood, I would actually name your broom after a god or a goddess. Oh my gosh, that gave me goosebumps. Wow, you know what? You're gonna notice the change of making it into a broom. That's awesome. Elm is, let me see, healing depression, connecting to nymphs. So nature spirits and transitions. So now that your broom is there, anytime you're experiencing any type of transition, you'll find that there's magic around it. There's guidance and blessings, and it won't be as crazy. Let me see, what else is there? Maple. Maple, we have lots of maple. Beauty. So it represents physical healing, directing energy, fun, harmony, and positivity. I'd probably have to take a closer look and sniff it. I would have to sniff it. Okay. Where did you find it? In your yard?
Yeah, it was just on the ground, you know.
It's pretty light like this.
Yeah, I think this is an apple. Yeah. I think it's apple. Yeah.
You know what this one was?
Oh,
You won't be able to tell from the smell because I put
nice on it.
And
but
no
I might be able to
coconut
try
and
that.
lavender
Oh
on it.
my God, this is amazing. I love it. Wow, I love it. I'm gonna feel it and see what it comes to me. You can tell by smelling it, right? Brett, what do you think this is? That's a similar like feel there. With that. Look what she did to it.
Yeah.
My wood burning.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
This is my
Oh, sweet on it.
that's my motorcycle.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I said to my husband, I gotta remember to get my stick. Well, that's my wrote it. It says my.
I love it. Hey, it's perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say apple. Some kind of fruit tree for sure.
Yeah,
Apple or cherry. but
cherry. Could be cherry.
If there's cherry around, it could have been that because it does have a little bit more darkness than hers.
Yeah.
Yours looks pretty similar to alder actually. But see if you can feel like it's a horse. Alder. It's not an evergreen. I think it's alder. I love alder. I make a star on my door every year with alder, and it keeps the mischievous spirits away. So the stick you were drawn to, even if you don't know the wood, it doesn't matter. It still represents the masculine, the God energy. So when things become chaotic, or if you feel like you're carrying too much and you don't know how to release, the broom is what you want to use, okay? We use the broom to cleanse psychic dirt. So for me, I do readings for a living. And even if I'm doing them online or in person, you know, we see so much. It's important for us to sweep that away. I like to smudge, but I sweep once a month. I like sweeping my house. Magically, I sweep. I sweep every day with a regular broom.
Do you normally do that on a new moon or?
It depends. So if I find that I'm taking on too much, I'm sacrificing a lot of my own energy for other people, I feel distracted and I don't have enough time to get to the things that I want to work on, I'll use my broom during the new moon. And when you use your broom during the new moon, you want to start at your front door or the door of your magic room or wherever, and you want to sweep counterclockwise. So you go against the clock, the opposite way. And you always sweep into the center of the room. Okay? Yeah. And that is always releasing. If you come home and it's like the worst day ever, you can grab your broom and sweep backwards. And you will calm right away. Or counterclockwise. I call it backwards. But you know what? I do actually, when I automatically do the counterclockwise, I do sweep backwards. That's weird that you said that because I never really realized that's how I do it. But when I go clockwise, I'm going forward. That's weird. Yeah. So any type of release, use it counterclockwise. During the full moon, you want to use it clockwise. Anytime you need more power, okay? Or if you grabbed your broom and you're like, I just wish I had more strength and the guidance that will lead me into the financial freedom that I want, and I don't have to worry about all this stuff. you can change your path and connect to the guidance by using your broom and using it in a clockwise position, holding your broom, telling it what you want. The broom wants to know what you want. The broom knows what you need. The broom knows when spirit's coming in and it's something that shouldn't come in. It will help protect your home. Okay, so use a broomstick when you want to get rid of stagnation. You feel stuck, use the broomstick. If I feel like I'm bored, but yet stagnant, and I don't know how to get connected, I use my broom. And you don't just have to sweep with it. You can sit there and hold it. I can sit in my chair, my sacred chair, and I just hold my broom as if it's my wizard's staff. And I will receive guidance and wisdom that I need. We also will hold the broom while we're seated to quiet our mind. So if you have trouble quieting your mind and shutting it off, sit with your broom, or even have it within 4 feet of where you're sitting, and it will influence you. If you need to narrow your mind onto something you're focusing on, like say I really need to peek at something and I can't really see it all, I will use my broom for a focal point to get even closer and connected to the hidden things. We use a broom to purify and protect our home, and we also use it to prepare our sacred space. So if I have which I haven't, but we used to do our full moons in person before the pandemic. We would sweep our area before people came, okay? Or while we were doing magic, we would sweep around our circle and the people in present. If you want to have a baby or you want to do fertility magic, you can, grandchild, yeah, you can put a broom in the bedroom or under the bed. And you know, if you want to have a grandchild, this is what I should do with my son. I'm gonna make him a little broom and put that under his bed. He's my brother, and the one in the black is my son Marcus, my brother Aaron, my husband Brett, just so you know. So for fertility, you can put the broom under the bed. So in your campers, careful. Some people slide the broom under their bed in the camper. You can also broom and sweep the threshold of the couple that wants fertility. I've done fertility rites for people. You know, they ask me to come cleanse a home, do fertility magic. You can sweep across the threshold of the doorways. It will draw in new spirits and the energy of fertility. We will also sweep across our threshold for protection. Now, say we want to work with spirit or a new spirit. There's once a year during one of the full moons, it's traditional to sweep across your threshold so that your new spirit guide that comes in is blessed and welcome. So every year, even though we all have spirit guides, every year we do all receive a new spirit guide that helps us. So the broom falling, happens all the time. Like some of you probably like, how does it fall? It will fall on its own, the nature spirits or the spirit. So if you have your broom inside the house or outside of the house and it falls, then that means that there is unexpected company coming. And if that unexpected company coming did not knock on your door physically by the end of the day, then it represents a spirit. So you probably had a spirit enter your home. And sometimes that spirit is a ghost or someone there to help you. So you kind of broom pay drops, just kind of pay attention for the day. What energy is rising? Who's coming around? There is some kind of hidden information, psychic information trying to come to you. If the broom is laying on the floor, so say you come home or you're sleeping or you walk into the room or you walk outside and you notice your broom is laying there, then that's actually a sign that you're meant to pick it up for good luck. So spirit wants to bring you good luck. So next place that's selling a lottery ticket, buy one, you know, go whatever's happening. If you're going to a social event, buy a ticket. Luck is around you and spirit wants to bring you. If the cats knock it down, it's just as, it's the same meaning. So he might be trying to get to nature spirit in there. Every home has a gnome. So if the broom is laying down, good luck is coming your way. And you know, I have actually changed my luck that way, is I would burn some incense and then I would lay my broom down in front of my altar and tell the spirits, I want more good luck. Okay. Always sweep out the back door. You never want to sweep outside your front door. I mean, don't take everything I say as truth. You got to follow your own guidance. But in my family and in my tradition, we believe that if we sweep our garbage out the front door, bad luck or negativity will try to come to us. So always sweep out the back door. Just kind of make it your rule. And you know, you got to think about it. Spirits also come through the door when they're not invited. Our ancestors can come through walls and anything, right? But if there is a negative spirit and your house is protected, it can only come through the front door. And you will usually hear a knock or, you know, something creepy. Ugh, I never open the door to those things. What? Like they'll knock, you'll hear knocking outside, and that means something wants to come in. And I always just tell myself, I don't open myself to the devil. Like, it can happen at any time. Don't answer. Yeah. And it's funny because a lady just came yesterday. Well, it's good to know, right? But that just happened to a lady who came here yesterday. She said something knocked on my door and I looked and I didn't see anything on my video cameras. I'm like, you didn't say enter, you didn't allow it to come in. And she said, no, I just felt like you're not allowed in. I just felt like I had to hold that space. So anytime you feel a presence outside of your home, even if that feeling, if you've ever had that feeling of someone watching, you always know, don't let them in. If they are a good spirit, they'll come in. But negative spirits can't come in unless you allow them. And that includes people. You'll find that if you have your broom there, it's protecting you from negativity and stagnation. So if someone is not meant to come to your place, they won't. They'll drop out last minute. They'll get the shits. You know, there's usually the shits, but they usually cannot stay. Maybe they come in and then they're like, I don't know what it is, but I gotta go, or something happens. So people with negativity, and that negativity would be energies towards you or someone within that home. Maybe they treat you like a friend, but they have that evil eye. They won't be able to stay at your house long. Okay. So you always want to, and if you do feel like you've experienced negativity, you want to sweep it out the back door. Okay. Now, you don't want to sweep on New Year's Day. Okay. So New Year's Day represents, if you don't sweep during the New Year's and you sweep after New Year's Day, then you're going to have more blessings and abundance and good positive energy. But traditionally, they say if you sweep during the first day, New Year's Day, it will bring you troubles your way. So New Year's, no cleaning, it's all party, right? And what I like to do is when I do sweep, I usually do it on the 3rd to the 5th. That's when I like to do my sweeping. And I always burn my sweeping after the first New Year's Day. So you can burn your stuff, or you can give it to the outside. I don't throw my broom, my magical broom sweeping, I don't throw in the garbage. I give it as an offering, okay? So if you don't sweep on New Year's Day, you'll have more money coming your way, okay? Now, if you're sweeping and all of a sudden you're dropping your broom when you sweep, then it's a sign that you are on a new path. And that is actually your magical broom, but also your regular broom. So take that in for house cleansing sweepings too. And if you are walking past your broom and it falls without you touching it, then you need to cleanse. That is a sign that cleansing, you need to cleanse yourself and your house spiritually. So if you walk past your broom and all of a sudden it falls on the ground, that's a sign that you have to cleanse your house spiritually. So purify it, right? Do the sweep, burn whatever you do, chant, play music, dance naked, however you do it, do it. We also use the broom for banishing. And if you ever feel that someone has put negative energy on you, or you've had an argument or confrontation, instead of carrying it, sweep, because you will receive the guidance that you need on how to deal with that situation. If you don't know how to talk to somebody about an issue that you want to talk to them about, and it's difficult, sweep first, and it will prepare you spiritually. You'll be able to just say what comes, and it will be divinely guided and make the situation better, not worse. So if I feel like someone has put a negative energy on me, traditionally, we will put our broom at the front door, okay? And that means that every time, nothing outside of your home can enter. So if you feel like negative energies on you, someone's focusing on you negatively, put your broom by the front door, and it will enhance the impressions for your protection. So the broom is one of the strongest tools we have. It's known as to be an amulet against black or dark magic, including dark or black negative energy in people, okay? Having the brooms in our home is a symbol to attract health, wealth. It represents our well-being because it balances the masculine and the feminine. It also makes us more generous. So, you know, if someone's holding tight, hubby's not opening up his wallet, right? Put it in the door, he walks past, tell him, you know, I want hubby to get me this, and it will work, right, Brett? I'm allowed to do spells on him, I just have to ask first. So one thing that you can trust about it is that when you place your brooms in your home, it's going to take about 3 days for the spirit of the broom to activate your house, okay? And the energy is always clear. The broom cannot hold negativity, okay? It's impossible. And that's why we like to keep our brooms at the door. Some people like to hang them. I've had them hanging in the kitchen in some houses. So you can hang your broom. It will be just as powerful, but you won't experience the communication of it moving and falling and dropping and all that. But they will keep the negativity out of the place that the broom resides. And if you keep it by the door, it will always keep you protected. So you don't have to worry about robbers. It also helps us with insomnia. So if you have trouble sleeping, while you bring your broom home, put it in the bedroom for the first 3 days. Okay. And no, you won't get pregnant. You can put it in for insomnia. The broom will know. Maybe tell the broom, help me sleep. I don't want to get pregnant. And then you're good. But it will help us sleep. So you can place the broom beside your bed and just kind of see how it affects your sleeping in the first 3 days. And it doesn't mean it has to be kept there. If you experience the magic of the broom healing your insomnia or giving you a good night's sleep, then that means that that energy, there was too much. You're filled with too much stuff. You needed that release. Now, this is part of my favorite thing because I love spirits. Most of my work involves communicating with spirit. I believe I can raise spirit in anything, and I love spirit work. So if you do like to communicate with spirit or want to feel more connected to your ancestors, then you can take your broom, and if you place it across a doorway so that it's leaning, so you have the bottom of the broom at the base of the doorway and the handle leaning across it like this, then you will be allowed to speak to any spirit you want. So it creates a spiritual doorway to communicate with the spirit world, right? And actually, if you do it at night, whether you're doing cards or just asking spirit to come forward, you should at least try this once. You don't have to freak yourself out, but I would like you to take your broom and have it across a threshold, especially when the veil gets thinner in the times of harvest. So you can do it anytime. So you would lean against the doorway like that. And then as you focus on the spirit you want to communicate, or you want to focus on the spirit of the house, you will see above the door handle and in the rest of the door frame, there's a doorway. It's like a white mist. And if you see that white mist, you created the psychic energy for the spirit to communicate. Okay. And many times at night, you may see a white misty glow around your broom. And that is psychic power, spiritual power. So try that. So what I would do is when I do that, I will call the spirit forward. And sometimes if I do a reading and I can't connect with someone they want, or even my client spiritually, I will do that. I'll just be like, just a moment, and I put it in the doorway, and I know that I can now call. So I'll say to my client, say your name 3 times, and I know that the spirit of around her will come forward. So it's really cool. Or if you go into a place and someone says, my house is haunted, you have a broom, grab the broom, put it in the doorway, wait, ask spirit, come forward. I know you're here. Focus on trying to feel spirit out. Listen for the sound. Tell it to make a sound. Tap 3 times. And you'll be able to experience the spirit of the house. I love spirit stuff. Yeah, you can. You can pull cards. You can have tea. There are certain spirits that I work with that I call once in a while and do have tea with them while I'm pulling cards and getting the guidance I need. So it's pretty interesting to communicate with spirit. So if you place the broom across the doorway, it allows you to speak to those who have passed on or the spirit of the home. As long as that broom is leaning there, they will feel free to communicate. As soon as you remove the broom from the doorway, you'll even find that the room gets cooler right away. It's like the clean sweep, okay? So if you wish to speak to those who have gone before you, that's the broom helps you make it possible, okay? In ancient times, that's why brooms were used in temples, was to invoke the power of spirit, not just cleanse it. So remember when you're sweeping, always sweep from the front door and always dust inwards. Brett, don't you have to go to work? I have no clue. Okay, you're good. It's like, I don't want to get fired. So always start at this one, sweep, always start at the front door. And now I say the front door of the house because that's traditional. But if you consider, like, say that door is my front door and that's what I use, you could consider that as your front door. But you want to also take note on the direction of where your door is. Because if your door is facing north and your broom is there, most of your energy that the broom is going to bring in will be financial and health. Where my door is facing west, so I get a lot of spirit. And actually, if you have your broom at the front door and the door is closed and you hear the breeze coming in, that means that there is a spirit that just entered your home. So any whistling of the wind in your home is a sign that there's a spirit that came in. So if your door represents yourself, the self, and your broom is there, then it will activate your purpose and your passion and the things that you should be focusing on, but also it will protect you against those distractions that keep you from fulfilling the things you really do. So you will find that you're more protective of the people in your life too, right? So you become a protector. The East always represents new beginnings. So if you're like done with your path and you need more stuff, or you're calling in opportunity, or you're looking for a new job or a new man or whatever, anything that has to do with the future, put it in the east side of your home or your back door to the east. You're constantly going to be invoking change. Shove it up people's asses too. I'm just kidding. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and it is something that we watch for, you know, like, I don't know, some of you may have been to Salem and other little witchcraft towns. You're going to find that, you know, we like to keep our broom outside because other witches or other mystics or other people into the occult recognize that. And when I drive by and I see someone has a broom against their house, I'm always like happy. I always send them many blessings their way, you know, like right on. We need more spiritual people. So it is a sign for us to recognize each other in different communities. So let me see. Banishing, we did that. Insomnia. You can use your magical broom for floor washes. And what I like to do is I will boil water on my stove and I add different herbs for different things. Basil is really good for money, or basil, however you say it. Agrimony is a great herb to boil. It gets rid of anything that stresses us out. It's a neutralizer. You can use lavender if you want your household more relaxed and at peace. So you can boil herbal things in water and sweep it up, spray it on the floor, sweep it up with your magical broom, and it will invoke the energies that you want. We will also just make a broom sweep and a bunch of different herbs, and we can scatter it in our area. You can even use sea salt for protection, black salt, sprinkle it around your house and sweep it up. If you have carpet, you don't have to sweep the carpet. You can sweep above it. You can sweep, like, you know, above the ground this high if you wanted. It's still going to do the work. So spiritually, our energy goes 4 feet into the ground. That's why some people have trouble when they're at Walmart or Costco or the mall. Their ankles and their feet get really drained and tired. The back locks up because our energy is actually 4 feet under us. Places of cement, our energy can't go 4 feet under, so it builds, and sensitives can find that really annoying and painful. One thing that's really good for money is cinnamon water, so that's good. How we start at the front door. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So the Chinese, the Orientals believe that, you know how I said don't sweep on New Year's? Well, that is something that is in many cultures, but the Chinese are very superstitious. I love their money mentality and their money magic and their money gods. It's just awesome. But they believe that you shouldn't sweep for the first 2 days. Okay. So don't sweep during the first 2 days. It would be like sweeping away your good luck. But the first day that you do sweep, you attract different nature spirits and deities. And some of you may have done goddess work, and some of you may have worked with different goddesses, but we are all connected to one, for sure. There is an ancient goddess power within you, connected to you. It's usually drawn down through your DNA, but if you are attracted to a certain culture, that can also be a spiritual connection for you. So that is one thing. The first time you sweep after the New Year's Day, so I would do 3 or the 5th to the 7th is when I like to do it. But if it's the 3rd day, that first sweep brings in a spirit. And so take note for 3 days. What type of energy comes about? I love that. East wind. So we're all getting blessed. Our future is in play. So you're welcoming the spirit that wants to connect to you. It's known as the day of the heaven and earth. So some of you may have heard the day of heaven and earth, that represents the first day you sweep. So if you see a spell on the day of heaven and earth, you know, make this herbal mixture, that represents that day after you sweep. And after they would sweep, in the old days, they would always light something. So fireworks, incense, smudge, nice. Who did that? That stick just fell. Still. Thanks, Aaron. It's a sign I need to cleanse now. I'm just kidding. Now you'll notice that we use seagrass, and I do actually have a special little patch there. And seagrass, you can use regular grass too, but I like that seagrass you have is it's known as a water seagrass, and we use it because it represents the water goddess. And because you've made your brooms, that represents the water goddess coming into your life. So pay attention for the next 3 days on the environment you actually feel in your house. Is it hot? Is it cool? If it's cool, then that represents female spirit in play with your broom. If it's hot, it represents male spirit in play because of your broom. And that will also change through the year. So there is a couple recipes I want to share too, and we're coming to the end of this. We'll be charging our brooms. So I think most of you are finished. But before we go on, there is a broom making or a broom flying ointment that we like to make. And you can actually use the brooms to fly. And it does take practice. The first couple of years I tried it, it was like, I got a little bit of this. But when it actually happened to me, it was the most amazing experience. So during Halloween or Samhain, we can do our broom flying ointment. We rub it on our belly, we rub it on our palms, we put it behind our ears, and we put it on our chest, and we will hold our brooms while we're sitting in a chair, and we just breathe through our mouth, focusing on holding our brooms. You begin to feel like you're almost in a state where you're floating, but at a certain point, if you keep your eyes closed, you will astral project into the sky. And there's, and you can meet other people. So some people are into meditation, lucid dreaming, or astral traveling. but as a group, we can meet each other in the sky. And so I will, during Samhain, if I do my broom flying, I'll meet with, you know, people in BC and say hi, right? So we can actually connect to other witches in the sky when they're doing their broom flying. And the first time I did it, I had a babysitter for my son. He was just this little guy. And that was when he was so cute. But I actually flew my broom to my house and watched him and my babysitter through the window. It was really cool. So you can broom fly. It's similar to meditation, but it just feels real because you can see other witches in the sky. You can feel the breeze. So even though you're just sitting in your chair and experiencing this, you're allowing your spirit to go into power and connect. So I'm going to list off a few of these herbs. And what I like to do is most recipes, and you can Google different recipes too, but this is one that I've been using since I was 20. Most recipes will say like 1/4 teaspoon. I just grab, okay, and I smell, and if it smells good, then I know it's good. So I'm going to give you the list of herbs that you can use. You don't have to use them all. Just use the ones that you can find, but you do need a minimum of 3, okay? So some of the herbs that you can use is cinquefoil, skullcap, mugwort, sage. Now the sage is cooking sage. It's not the white buffalo smudging that we used, okay? Angelica root, lavender, oregano we all have in our spice cabinets, if you have spices. Clover grows. So if you see clover in your yard, pick some leaves or some of the flowers. You want to use some chimney soot or cauldron soot. So anything we burn in our cauldron, in our incense burners, we use that stuff for magic. So we can use that in the ointment. The chimney soot, you only use 1 teaspoon. So not very much. You don't want to rub it on and be like, you know, black mess. Vervain and benzoin. Yarrow is also a really good one. And if you can't find the herbs, you can use essential oils as well. The other thing you want to use is either a 1/4 cup of coconut oil, or you can use a cooking oil. So olive oil, grapeseed is one that I like to use because it's like you won't get an allergic reaction with grapeseed. So I know it's safe to use in groups, as well as a third of a cup of melted beeswax. So if you boil that, bring it together, it will create a balm. And you want to stir it in a banishing position. So you go counterclockwise for 10 minutes, and then you can pour it into jars. The older this stuff is, the better. So if you still have, you make 1 batch, and in 5 years, that batch is wicked, okay? So you just use a little bit, but it actually works. Maybe what I'll do is create a little recipe card and send it to you, and then you could forward it to everyone, or if anyone wants to message me. And you rub it on, and you try to meditate. And it doesn't matter if your mind is busy, you just hold your broom and breathe through your mouth. So are you ready to charge your brooms? I love your 3 loops. That's awesome. Let me see them. You got that? Yeah, feel free to smoke, you guys. You can do whatever. Don't worry. You don't have to. I don't have a certain section. Light it up. And then we'll do our charging. So in a few minutes, we'll do the spell to activate our brooms. Does anyone have any questions about it? Yes. Definitely, yeah. Yeah. It'll probably be audio, but you'll be able to get it. Yeah. And then you can make one whenever you want. You can make them. The brooms are traditionally amazing wedding gifts. They're awesome. You can make you can make your own broom for the bride and groom, have them jump over it for good luck or fertility. They're great for home blessing gifts. And as you use them, they may fall apart. Like I've used some of my brooms to like where it's just a stick. And that's okay. If you use up your broom, you can take it apart, give it as an offering, burn it as your incense to smoke gods, sky gods. Use the stick again. If you really like your stick and you're like, oh, my broom's used up, you can use the same stick and create a new broom. Okay. So in a few minutes, we'll get started. They're all down there looking at the baby. Did it? The little baby deer left? Oh, there's the hummingbirds though. Darn, I didn't see him leave. That would have been fun for all of us to watch him go. The water comes right up at the bottom. And it was so neat because where the baby was, the baby deer, the mom used all this seagrass and formed a whole circle around it. So it was hidden in there. It's amazing. Oh, it doesn't matter. No, like I've had people bring 12-year-olds. It's pretty harmless. You know, if it was for a group of like, you know, moms and younger girls, I'd probably skip out the whole penis thing, right? Okay. Or yeah, you know, code it up a bit. There's been people that have done circles to make bridal brooms, right? It's like, so, you know, like some people will make these brooms. Like every year I like to make a bunch and leave it on my fence and people can buy one if they want. They just put donation in the box. Oh, for sure, bridesmaids and yeah. Make it a bachelorette thing. That'd be wicked. Totally cool. And then have them in there. Are you going to do kind of a witchy theme? That's cool, right? Yeah. That's awesome. And once you've made your broom, you'll see how I kind of have them stand up there. You're going to want to stand them up and let them create their form. So at the end of your broom, after we do our chant, I'll probably, some of you might want to tie the ends. And if you take a piece of string, you just tie the end like this, you can twist it. So you twist the broom and then tie it and then stand it up where you want. This will stay tight, and then cut the end if you want. And it kind of gives it that Harry Potter twist. Oh yeah. Some of it came out shed in the last year. See this one here, you can see there is a little bit of a tie on the end of it. And it gives it a little bit of a shape, right? And then you can cut your broom and shape it as you want. When you find the spot, here's one you've got. Like that swept some evil away, hey? Hay is actually, this one I made with hay. So hay makes nice brooms too. You don't just have to use material. Birch broom, you know, there's certain birch trees, they grow the sprout up high. You can use that as a broom. That's traditional. Cedar brooms are awesome. In the kitchen, we can do like little cinnamon brooms. They're really cute. Okay, so let's do a broom blessing. Are you ready? Whoops. Thank you. Okay. And you want it between your legs, ladies. You can sit or you can stand, whatever is comfortable for you. Okay, are you ready? So you want to have your hands on it. And what you actually want to do at first before we do this chant is connect to your broomstick. And you want to feel both of your hands. Pay attention to the palms of your hands. Which hand is stronger? Which hand is connecting to your broomstick? If it's your left hand that is stronger and the broomstick heats up, or maybe you feel a vibration or a heart rate in your hand, then the left hand means that you're meant to receive the medicine of the broom. And if it's your right hand that is more powerful and you feel that heartbeat or that heat, then that means that you need the broom to manifest. You're in a manifesting mode and you're meant to send energy out. So if your right hand is more powerful, think about all the things that you want to send out into the world for yourself. If you find that your left hand is more powerful, mentally tell your broom, you open to receive. I open myself to receive all the good things. I am blessed, I am protected, and I seek my bliss every day. Now we're going to do the invocation. And this helps raise the spirit of our broom. So repeat after me. Witch's broom, swift in flight, cast out darkness, bring in light. Earth be stabled, and focus on it, feeling the earth. I even push mine in a little bit to that earth. Air be clear. Now just wait for the air to hit you. Feel the breeze. Yeah, that's what we want. Fire bright. Think about something you love or someone you love. Water heals. And with the water heals, I like to kiss my blessing fingers on my right hand. So my pointer and my bird. I don't know what to call it. Kiss it and put your hand back on the broom. A sacred bridge. This place will be as my will. So mote it be. Magical broom in which I tied. Be my companion and be my guide. By moonlight pale, my spirit rides through the windy gale to realms beyond, both space and time, to spiritual lands. My soul will fly in the company of the crone I ride, this broom that I hand tied. I consecrate thee with magical power, protection, purity, and my guiding power. That is what we call this hour. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. Outside and inside the cauldron, we sweep stagnation away. Love, growth, expansion, connection, health, and healing will clean up my act. So mote it be. Now feel your hands. Did they get hot? So if they got hot while you're talking, you're magical. Okay, that is for sure. And even if you didn't get hot and you feel the pulse and you feel the connection, you're still magical. But the heat shows that you invoked the power of the broom. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you love it and let it do its thing. Thank you for joining me today. Feel free to take photos. Some of you may still be tying it or want to stand it up to tie it. But if you can also keep working on it at home. I usually get photos of people adding things. Front of the house, along here. I mean, the camper is here. Normally my teepee is here, right? So.
A few neat shots. One is right where you guys are towards the caves. You can also stand up here by the mermaid. There's a little bit of stuff there, but if you get the right angle, you're good. And then up front, what we'll do is after we do a little bit of just playing around with the brooms, we can hop on